They say no kingdom ever stood prouder than Benin. Its walls stretched farther than the eyes could see, its art spoke with the voice of gods, and its people believed their Oba ruled by divine right. But one day, fire swallowed the red earth, and a proud empire fell to the gun. Long before the British or their ships ever came, the land that became Benin was ruled by village chiefs called the Ojizos, the kings of the sky. They ruled for many generations, but over time, pride and fighting tore them apart. Then came a new line, the line of the Obas. It began when the people sent for a prince from Ife, a land of art and power. That prince's name was Aranmian. He came to Benin and gave the people new order, new strength, and a new name, Edo, the land of pride and honor. When Aranmian left, he left behind his son, Yuka the first Oba of Benin. And that's when the real story began. Under the Obas, Benin grew into one of Africa's greatest empires. The streets were planned and clean. The markets were full of ivory, pepper, coral beads, and bronze. The palace was a city on its own, wide courtyards, tall pillars, and thousands of carved artworks telling the story of the kingdom. The people built massive walls and moats around the city, stretching more than 15,000 kilometers. Historians later said it was one of the largest man-made structures in the world, even greater than the Great Wall of China in total length. At its peak, Benin traded with the Portuguese and Dutch. The Obas sent ivory and artworks, and received guns, silk, and mirrors. But Benin never bowed to anyone. Every trader entered with respect or not at all. By the late 1800s, things began to change. The British wanted more, not just trade, but control. They wanted palm oil, ivory, and access to the Niger Delta routes. The Oba at the time, Ovenramwan Nogbezi, refused to let them break Benin's laws. He placed a royal ban on trade with the British, saying, "Benin's wealth belongs to her people." But the British saw this as defiance. So in January 1897, they sent what they called a friendly visit. It was led by acting Consul James Phillips, but he carried hidden weapons and soldiers. Benin's chiefs warned the Oba that something was wrong. And when the British crossed into the kingdom without permission, they were ambushed, most of them killed. That single event gave the British an excuse. They called it the Benin Massacre, and within weeks, they prepared revenge. In February 1897, over 1,200 British soldiers, armed with rifles and cannons, marched on Benin City. The people fought back with spears, arrows, and charms, but they were no match for the gunfire. For 3 days, the city burned. The royal palace, a symbol of centuries of glory, was set on fire. The British looted thousands of Benin bronzes, ivory tusks, coral crowns, and sacred masks. They filled over 200 wagons with art and treasures and shipped them away to England. When the smoke cleared, the Oba surrendered. He was exiled to Calabar, far from his people, where he died years later. The fall of Benin marked the end of one of Africa's greatest empires. The British called it civilization. But to the people, it was a wound that never healed. The streets that once echoed with drums went silent. The palace, once a symbol of power, was gone. And the sacred bronzes, which carried the memory of kings and ancestors, were scattered across foreign museums. Yet, Benin did not die. Even today, the spirit of Benin lives. The descendants of the ancient casters still mold bronze the same way their fathers did. The Oba's line continues, still respected, still honored. And the world is finally listening, calling for the return of what was taken. The British took the bronzes, but they could never take the soul of Benin. Because kingdoms can fall, but legacy never dies.